of Life Extra.
What is Dish of Life?
This is a dish that makes life worth its living. It is a program on how to live your life to its utmost in health and lifestyle. It is a program that takes you step by step on how to prevent, manage, and remove diseases and other ailments from your system without lifelong usage of drugs or incessant hospital attendance. Dish of Life Extra takes you from wherever you are to where you want to be in your health and lifestyle. Every Tuesday by 11 a.m. and a repeat broadcast on Saturday by 11 a.m. by your host, Dr. Semiyu Olagode.
My good people of Abuja, Nasarawa, Kogi, Niger, Benue, Kaduna, and all other states that are around our federal capital territory here in Abuja, you're welcome to your every week elixir in preventive health education. Dish of Life Extra, coming to you from your number one community-friendly radio station, Vision 92.1 FM. I am your regular host, Dr. Semiyu Olagode. Today, we are going to quickly talk about a very, very important subject that involves everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean everybody, depending on how each person, accost or attack his own situation. And what is that thing? It's called stress. And when we talk about stress, there are good stress and there are bad stress. And there are different types of stress that are bad and different types of stress that are good. But in the whole thing, stress can be a very, very thin line between good and bad. Unfortunately, not being able to handle it with care will always result in the other side of it instead of being good. Stress is defined as a state of mind and body beyond its useful capacity and capability for optimal performance and functions. This state of our consciousness can lead to severe dysfunction and malfunction that can render our lives opposite. Stressful situations can be physical, mental, and emotional in our functions. The most difficult and dangerous to tackle is the emotional one, followed by mental and physical. Many people are in one stressful situation or the other. The only issues are the effects in our various areas of authority and usefulness. You see, as long as a man lives, there must be stress to be able to either promote him or demote him. I just mentioned that the most difficult one to tackle is the emotional ones. Emotional stress are those stress that have come to really try you as a human being, try you as an intellectually, upscale human being and an intellectually low-scale one. Because the way you're going to tackle your stress will determine how that stress will keep you where you ought to be or where you ought not to be. That's the reason why I say different types of stress gives different types of outcome. But the most difficult to actually deal with are the emotional stress. When anyone is under stressful condition, many things can go wrong with the person concerned and others that are even not remotely concerned. Because take for instance, if a doctor is emotionally stressed up and is got to be on the table looking after a sick patient, and while his emotional state is disrupting all his life, there's a very, very good chance of that doctor making serious mistakes on the life of the person that has no remote concern about what it might be causing that doctor's emotional stress. So, if now somebody in authority is undergoing an emotional strain or emotional stress and is supposed to determine lives of thousands or sometimes millions, you can imagine what happens to those people if such stress will make this person to make big mistakes. And if you look at our environment today, you will find out that we have different types of stress. And each of them always affects the way we function, the way we make decisions, the way we make things happen and things not to happen. You can imagine a director in a ministry who just had a very, very bad situation at home, either with his better half, with his friends, family members, or anyone. And he just coming to the meeting that morning to be the major, determinant of what will affect millions of people. At the end of the day, he makes a decision that may come out of the response, his or her response to that emotional state. And at the end of the day, the people who he is discussing with may not even understand the reason why such a decision was made. But if this particular person is a type that can handle his or her emotional stress in a very, very, nice way, by the time he's getting to that meeting, he or she will have put aside that stress that will make him make such blunder that is going to affect several people unknowingly. So you can see how the title of this particular talk this morning is called Stress People and Mistakes Personified. When you are stressed up in the wrong way, you are likely going to make serious mistakes, and that can affect people in a very, very damaging way. So we have to understand the level of stress that we can cope with, how to cope with them, and the way and manner we will allow them to affect us in anything that we want to do. So such consequence to the doctor or to anyone in authority might actually result into a lot of problems, including wrong diagnosis, wrong treatment of the patient, and even worsening of the affected patient's condition. Death can result from such state of mind when decisions go wrong. It can occur in other professions too. Building collapse, fire outbreak due to decision of stress consultants, and the rest. You can keep on talking about different type of people in position that will affect other people. But simply because of their state of stress or the state of their emotional being as at that time, it can lead to so much disaster. And that's the reason why whenever we talk about stress, you have to know that during stressful state, the individual needs to stay off any mentally involving decision until the state wears off with adequate rest or adequate thought about whatever must have created that stressful condition. There are stresses that make us to become better in life. Stress like, things that somebody will give you a sort of, what do you call it now? A sort of work to do at a particular time that must be completed at a particular time. Some of them will call it, they're giving you the limit, or they'll give you the account of which you must come back with, or whatever. All these are stress that will increase your ability to perform. There are stresses that actually you put on yourself too when you want to achieve a particular goal All these type of stresses are not damaging. But when you overshoot them, you can actually find them back, stabbing you where you least expect. For instance, if you set an unrealizable type of goal for yourself, or you set such unrealizable goal for your partner, or for your friends, or for your community, you only end up being the one that will go into the negative part of it. So whenever we are setting goals for ourselves or for anybody, we must understand that that goal that we are setting is also a stressful situation that we may or we may not achieve. And if we don't achieve it, we should always find a way of cutting down on that expectation and seeing ourselves as human that could fail depending on what his body can take, his mental state can take, his emotions can take. Different types of situations can affect our goal setting. And when that emotional state is done on us, we have to start remembering what I've mentioned, that you're a human being, you have limits. Limit of what you can achieve, limit of what you can, your thought limit, your physical limit, and the limit to which you can push yourself to achieve all those. So when you think that way, and you do not push yourself beyond the limit that is humanly possible, you are likely going to overcome whatever stress that comes out of such emotional state. Stress is also a positive way to ginger your body to achieve purposes in our lives. This type of stress, they call them ambitious or positive stresses. Many people are aware of such stress and are willing to invest in them. A lot of people want to improve what they do. They want to upgrade themselves. But all this can put them on stress. That type of stress will give you what you want as long as you make it reasonable or realizable goals. Whatever you want to set a goal for yourself, please make it the immediate, the medium, and the further ones, the one that will be much later. In that case, you'll be able to take them, those stress you'll be able to take at reasonable limits, and you'll be able to achieve them at a time you can celebrate. And when you can do that, then there's likelihood of you not having mistakes that's going to affect millions of people. Depression can come out of unnecessary, unrealizable, limit or ambition, because that itself can push such a person into depression. And once depression comes in under stress, it becomes much more dangerous. That's why you find some people going into parasuicide or even full suicide. These are the people who have set unrealizable limits for themselves, and they have put everything into it, and once they fail all through. So somebody who has not even swum inside a small, swimming pool before, when you now see wanting to jump into an ocean, then you know that is a stressful situation that is beyond even the capacity of the owner. And whoever you might be, you are not, removed from stressful situation. Never. There's always something that will stress you. But it is either you make that stress to become positive, or you allow it to go negative. For those who know that they are in this life to monitor and to be able to tackle their stress, they will always remember that stress is not something that you put on yourself and you think that you will not be able to deal with them. Dealing with them also depends on individual. Some people, when they want to deal with their stress, they go into more stress. Somebody is stressed up and he goes for alcohol, or he goes for smoking. All these are just going to worsen whatever it is that was there before you now go for them. If you continue to want to avoid stress, then you will go to nowhere. Stress will promote you, and it will demote you, and in fact, it can make you much more, negative than you can think about. So when you think about stress, think about how to tackle the stress that will make you better than you have been. Try to think about the stress that you have the limit to be able to accomplish. Think about every stress that is going to negate your life as the one that you should start moving away from. These are the only way that your stress can either make or mar you. I don't have enough time to, give you the feedback on how you can manage stresses, but God willing, by next week, we may have enough time to be able to talk about each type of stress and how to deal with them. But suffice it to say, what I've just told you today is one of the best steps you can take when you have any stressful situation in your life. And that is, make sure that whatever it is that it comes with, you can always find a way to tackle them in such a way that will not let you go into mistakes that will affect other people. So, we're going to stop there today because of the time. And next week, by God's grace, we're going to continue where we have stopped today and be able to make more into the way to manage stress. Until then, it has been me, Dr. Semi Olagolden, saying, keep healthy and stay fit. Bye, and God bless.